I mean, this is the second time I've seen it now, and it's even better the second time. So if you come back while it's running, I would definitely encourage you to do so. It talks about the price one pays for being themselves, and I thought each of you was in a unique position to talk about that. And I would would love to hear what you have to say about how the business has treated you, and the business of show that Rudi talks about.
So I knew going into this, I moved to New York 8 years ago, that being out was always going to be the deal. Just no matter who asked me first. It happened to be the New York Times, and I thought, well, go big or go home. So I've kind of let everything fall as they were, all the chips, and haven't missed out on parts because I'm openly gay, probably. I have no proof, but I truly believe, and it was touched on a couple times in this piece, being my true, authentic self is going to have its reward. It already is. These last couple of years, I've really kind of owned my space and owned my skin, and it's all about being the best version of yourself.
I played the evading game for a bit. Before I was on TV, nobody ever asked. I never did interviews. I was never in a situation where it mattered what my sexuality was. And then once I was on TV playing an incredibly homosexual person, I started getting asked, and it was sort of like silly that people. I thought it was like sort of silly that people were even asking, because it's like, well, there was some reporter who, not from Newsweek, but who was like, well, I'd love to interview Michael about the Temperamentals, but I'm going to ask the question, and he can say whatever he wants. And I think I evaded it, and he was just not very nice, and he sort of painted me in a bad light. And now I'm in a relationship, and there's sort of like being in a relationship made me think, okay, now I feel okay, and now I feel good, and I don't mind talking about it. When Ugly Betty got canceled like a minute before pilot season started, and all the pilots that were coming to me to read were, awful, or whatever, some were good, some were bad, lots of generic parts, and the parts I was interested in, I would also often I would be like, okay, I'm interested in this one, what do they think? And they were like, well, they asked if you could pull it off. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's gonna be easy to do if they're thinking that already, they're thinking that already when I walk in the room. There's no way I'll pull it off. And then they were like, because there's tons of gay parts in pilots these days, and the gay parts, they were like, yeah, not that gay. Not that kind of gay. Or something like that. Oh yeah, we want gay, but we don't want him. As if I couldn't do anything but that. I'm like, I got all kinds of gay guys in here.
I think that we all have to sort of get together and realize that so much has been done, and that any work that any of us do, we're standing on very big shoulders, people who came out when it was even harder. It's never maybe it's getting easier now, but it's never easy. But certainly there were people, as we saw in this play, they were giving a name to something that didn't, there was no movement, there was nothing there, and they were just saying, well, we have to stand up and do it.